I like my games to be as efficient as possible. I don't like to waste too much time when it comes to training. And well, this year, once again, I'm bringing you my FM22 quick guide on how to set up training schedules effectively so that you can get the best development from your players in the fastest time possible. My name is Daljit. Welcome to the show. Well, this is the channel where I do content on the game Football Manager. I also stream 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on Daljit's Moments. You'll also find me on Twitch on Saturdays and Tuesdays. On Tuesdays, we actually have a public draft where you are more than welcome to join us and have some fun. This is a follow-up of a video I did in FM21. There are some slight changes and I'm going to address them on today's show. In previous editions of Football Manager, it was way too easy to get 40 to 50 point attribute gains for your young players. I mean, you could easily just go out there, scout a couple of wonder kids, put them into your squad, and overnight, in a couple of seasons rather, you'd have a whole bunch of superstars. Nah, that was too easy. So SI decided to make FM22 slightly different. In order for you to maximize training and development on Football Manager, you need to line your ducks up in a row. You need to have very good facilities. You need to have very good coaches. You need to rotate your players. You need to give them match time when they're 18 years old. And these players also need good combinations of professionalism and ambition in their personalities. In order for you to get really good coaches in the game now, it's not a function of just my attributes alone. They also need a good world reputation. They need a decent current ability, as well as the right kind of coaching qualifications. Once you've set up the infrastructure, which shouldn't take you very long, you need to come up with a plan to train your players. Now, there are 2 approaches one can take. The easiest way, of course, is to give it to your ass-man and hope he does the best he can. This isn't ideal. It will not maximize their development. The second way is to leave it to your ass-man, but you decide what their roles and duties are. Now, this is slightly better. In the game of Football Manager, you always want to choose the roles and duties that you want your players to train in. If you leave it to the ass-man or you choose a generic position for them to train in, then they will be trained in a battery of possible roles and you probably don't have a lot of control over the kind of attributes that they might gain. The approach I favor is an approach I've been using for the last couple of seasons. It's really easy to follow. Once you've analyzed your squad and come up with a tactic, go train your players in those roles that you're going to be using them for. This is the easiest way for anyone who's new to the game. There is one more approach, is the DNA approach. You can always pop by on my streams and watch me do it. Now I'm going to show you a method where I call this the one training schedule method. Essentially, I attempt to get my team tactically familiar with the system that they're going to be using. And then once they are, I switch to one schedule for an entire season. So I keep repeating the same schedule over and over again because that's all you really need to do. If you think about the approach, is really simple. You want to focus players on their roles so that you target specific attributes. Then you want the entire team to work on training attributes as a group so that the right attributes are developed across the whole team. So the whole team gets stronger in a group of attributes. What this in turn does is that when the attributes of your players improve, the current ability of your squad is heading in the right direction. The game doesn't require you to prepare a specific training schedule for a specific opponent. There's no such thing. All right, it's a really simple game. You just create the schedules, attributes improve, teams get better, you start playing better. All right, there's no such thing as I need to prepare a specific training schedule for my Champions League match because I'm playing Atletico Madrid and I need to play a counter-attacking style. What kind of training schedule should I go out and get? Dude, the game was never meant to be that complicated. Here we've got Edson Alvarez with Ajax. This is after just 1 season. He's 24 years old and he has progressed really well. If you look at this, it only seems like he's only had 1 attribute gain, right? But this is where a lot of people fail to understand this game. Agility, 12 to 13. He has improved by 1 attribute point. Whenever you see a green arrow like this, it means that he has improved by 1 attribute. So he's improved by 1 attribute for acceleration, agility, balance, and jumping reach. He's also improved in leadership, positioning, vision, technique, passing, long throws, first touch, and dribbling. Dribbling 7 to 8. Passing, he's gone up from 13 to 14. So there are 1 attribute point gains for the majority of these areas, and he's 24 years old. I even use the same schedules for the youth team. Here, if you look at Loic Lasan, it will look like he's only at 3 attribute point gains, right? But he's generally developed in a lot of areas. His stamina, strength, his balance is improved. I mean, youngsters, you kind of expect these attributes to go up. But let's take a look at his dribbling. His dribbling has gone from 8 to 9. Let's pick his composure. His composure has gone from 9 to 10. So if you look at your players, you're going to realize that you need to do a deeper dive in most of these players to understand how their attributes have improved. So what does my schedule look like? Preseason, only for the first week, we do something called boot camp. This is very aggressive. I would recommend removing this resistance and giving them a rest day. This is just for the first week. Once boot camp is done, we switch to something that builds tactical familiarity. You see all these blue sessions? Now, all these blue sessions serve to build tactical familiarity. So do these sessions as well. So when attacking movement, defensive shape, and teamwork also build tactical familiarity. What's interesting is that sessions that attacking movement and defensive shape also work on individual role attribute development. So this is why it's important to specifically choose roles for your players. Once your team has gained tactical familiarity, which can happen around October, I will switch to another schedule and I will never change after that. The final session is this. This is a very balanced training schedule. First, we get attacking movement in and defensive shape. This is for to give us a slight bonus for upcoming matches. As you can see, there's a defensive position and marking upcoming bonus, as well as attacking movement and passing. It also works on all the areas of tactical familiarity, and on top of that, it works on individual roles. We also have match practice. Why is match practice included? Match practice is a damn good session for developing individual roles as well. It's the only one that works on individual roles 100% for every single player on the pitch. Now, ideally, I would like to have 3 or 4, but we can only have 2 in a week. Then we have other sessions here. There's a doubling between chance conversion. This is intentional, so that if you ever need to drop a session, you can drop chance conversion, or you can drop physical. So these are the 2 sessions that you can drop off in case you need to give your players a bit more rest. I have found that this schedule is not that demanding physically. What happens if you've got 2 matches a week? Now then you switch to this schedule, which is really straightforward. You've got match preparation activities plus these set piece sessions. These can easily be dropped if you need more rest. What about the rest settings? For my rest settings, everything is on automatic. I only have double intensity for players that have an excellent match condition. Normally no pitch or jumbo, half intensity, normal, and normal is fine. There have been times that when I've thought of using double intensity here, but if I use double intensity here, there's a strong possibility that my players will get injured. So I've normally found that normal intensity is the best, especially if you want to go into the game and start giving every single player additional focus. What about individual workloads for players? You will find that in most cases, you should be happy with medium. Now, ideally, you want heavy so they get the maximum amount in the development. But sometimes you will notice that the workload goes heavy when they start playing more games. You also want to be wary of their injury susceptibility. So I generally find that workload of medium is fine, heavy is good. However, I don't push for it in most cases, and I don't seem to have any issues with long-term injuries. Normally, this is how I see training panning out. If you take it too easy in preseason, you can't finish the regular season without seeing your players getting jaded or injured. But if you have a very good preseason where you're pushing them really hard at the start, you will typically find that you finish stronger as the season ends. Your teams are normally faster, stronger, and fitter. And that always works to the benefit of players who love playing aggressive styles of attack. I didn't jump into what each session's attributes develop. I've got more detailed deep dive videos on how training is set up, what all the sessions mean, what are the weightages. I've done all that in previous videos. I don't want to redo those videos again, because then I'll just be doing those videos for views, and I'm not that kind of a person. In fact, I was hesitating about doing this video in the first place. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video and found it useful. If you have any questions or if you have any queries about training, please feel free to hop in on any of my live streams, stop me and ask me a question, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. I hope you have a good day. Stay safe and healthy. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.